Hi, welcome to Mindful. I'm Rachel. I'm here with my friend Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, and apparently we didn't plan this. We're kind of matching with the velvet green
Don't
thing
lie, we
going.
planned it.
Okay,
I'm
we
just
did.
kidding.
We called and we're
Yeah,
twinsies.
that's it. That's us.
So today, I should say what this podcast is about.
What
I'm
is
just
it? What
making
is
this.
it about?
It
Tell
is.
us.
This is mindful, and this
Mindful.
is about minding what matters.
Yeah.
Because we spend so much time like worrying about the insignificant stuff, and this is a moment where we can focus on what matters.
That's right.
Mindful.
There we go.
So, and for the last few weeks, we've been talking about simplifying. And this week we're going to talk about stillness. Now, I have a little bit of a trauma with stillness. I'm gonna tell you real quick.
Ooh.
I was invited when I first started working here at the church to a retreat.
Okay.
It was a silent retreat.
Yeah.
You knew where I was going with
Heard of
it.
these.
So it was 3 days of sitting without speaking in a house and focusing on God. And I was invited to it, and it was terrifying. And I didn't go, but just the thought of it gave me so much anxiety, like being still for that long.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is what I'm going into the conversation with. Like,
Sure.
that is like,
Sure.
no.
Sure.
Could you do it?
I
3
mean,
days?
I've not done a stillness retreat, but
Yeah.
I've done some where stillness was a major component of it.
Yeah.
And I think I could. It would be very difficult, but I think I would live. Yeah, I
And
think
do
I'd
you
live
think
fine.
you would get a lot out of it? Like that,
Yes.
like that, yeah. I think so too.
Yes.
And I think there for me, I probably a little bit of regret about
Yeah.
not challenging myself to
Yeah.
see if I could have done it. Um,
Some I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a professional or somebody that just had gone on a lot of them, but I do remember the phrase being they said it takes 36 hours to actually quiet your soul. Before
that's
because they say
interesting.
that there is your brain goes through all of these different scenarios. You've thought through everything. You've thought about your family. You've thought about your
Right.
life. You've thought about your money. You've thought about your career. You've thought about kids, and eventually you will run out of thoughts. And it takes about 36 hours to truly quiet your soul. So,
That's really no, that's
so
really
it's
interesting.
interesting. So
I
that's
believe
why
that.
on 3
Yeah.
days, day 1 is it's kind of like you're fasting. You're like fidgety,
Yeah.
and then halfway through it, you go, and it hits you.
Wow.
I
Okay.
did a documentary in the desert,
Yeah.
Death Valley, and
Oh, that
my
is the desert.
yeah,
Okay.
it was legit. And my friends walked it, but while they were walking, I was just by myself.
Yeah.
No cell service, nothing.
That sounds dangerous and for like an
So
emotional and
I
physical
was fine.
level.
I was fine. I was fine. But
Okay.
my I will never forget the clarity that my soul felt with nothing. It as
Yeah.
weird as it sounds, and I didn't get into the message that I delivered at Chase Oaks on stillness, but um, God's primary communication place
Yeah.
is the wilderness.
And, that's kind of like the Jesus thing. When you're
Yeah.
telling me this, it makes me think of his days in the desert,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
and he would go alone a lot. And
Mhm.
so because you're in his creation, is that why you think it's like so it makes you
I think
closer?
I think that there's something about that, but there is a honestly I don't know what it is. I mean, I have theories,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's
But we know Jesus did it, so, like,
he did
we
it.
should probably do it too. Like, that's the general
Yeah, and I
yeah.
wonder if it's a there's in Jesus's day, you might be in a wilderness whether you're praying or not.
I was just thinking
Does
that
that
too.
make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah,
It's like if
yeah,
you ever
yeah.
been to Israel, it's just like there's a lot of wilderness.
Yeah.
And so in other words, I would say God didn't have as much competition for your attention as God would have today, just in terms of buzzing notifications TV,
So true.
like,
Yeah.
so I think the competition for our attention has definitely risen. ADHD is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And so there are things where it is you think about that from that
Yeah.
standpoint, it's like, yeah, it's definitely harder for us to truly silence the noise.
It is true, and, you talked about before, thankfully, we don't need because not everybody has, like, 3 days to, like, really get there to silence the noise,
Yeah.
but you had talked about a system, you had this 4-minute system.
Mhm.
I know you didn't come up with it yourself,
Yeah.
but you've, like, made it your kind of
Yeah, yeah, practice.
your practice.
Yeah.
So and you made it a habit. Can you
Yeah.
tell everyone kind of like, if you don't
Yeah.
have 3 days, what can we do in 4 minutes? You know?
Yeah, so our friend, she has a book called 4 Minutes to Hear God's Voice. I encourage you to pick it
And
up on
what's her
that.
name?
Her name is Mirako.
Miracle?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Not Miracle, but she is a miracle. She's awesome. Um, Miracle, and she tells all these incredible stories. And essentially, it's a practice of stillness. It's putting 4 minutes on a clock. Um, right before you do that, you say, Lord, in these next 4 minutes, I ask that you would show me whatever it is you want me to see.
Yeah.
You tell me whatever it is you want me to hear.
So no, like, no, you're not actively praying during this
I'm
time?
doing absolutely nothing.
See, because I think when you first told me about this, in
Mhm.
my mind, I was like, okay, so you're praying for 4 minutes
Nothing.
internally. So
You're doing nothing.
you're doing nothing. You're
You
just
are completely still for 4 minutes. Your brain's gonna be going all over the place.
right, right,
Yeah,
right. When that's my brain, I don't like spending time with it, like, alone
I know.
much.
Yeah,
How do you know?
I
Yeah,
can tell.
yeah,
I can tell. I
I'm
can
not
tell.
one of those still people.
Mhm.
So and you've done this for how long?
10 years now.
10 years. And have you seen,
8 to 10 years. Yeah.
how is it putting this 4 minutes every day over 10 years, like, that cumulative effect, have you seen?
Well, one, it's not every day. So
Right, right.
I wanna stress, like, I'm not master of it in that sense, but, as far as it being a practice in my life as a part of my lifestyle,
Right,
yes. What it does is it just, so I'll give you an example. My wife and I were on vacation, and, her best friend has just been going through just a lot.
right.
So I went, just out our room on vacation had like a little balcony. It was facing the ocean. I go out into the balcony and I put on a timer for 4 minutes for my friend Basti. And I just said, Lord, whatever it is you want to encourage Basti with, anything, if you give me a picture in my head or if you want to show me something, say something to me, I'm going to sit still for 4 minutes.
So you set that intention,
I set
right?
that intention,
So all you have to do is set the intention, set the timer,
set the timer,
and sit,
and sit.
or stand. Yeah,
Whatever you want to
yeah,
do in
yeah,
that 4 minutes
yeah,
of stillness,
yeah,
you could stand still
yeah,
or you could sit still.
yeah,
And like with my son, we just in his room, we close our
yeah.
eyes and we just for 4 minutes just sit still. And then at the end of it, I ask him, I say, hey, um, is there anything that God put on your heart during that 4 minutes? And he'll say something like, you know, I'm thinking about this friend at school. And, I was pretty mean to him today. Maybe I should apologize to him tomorrow. Okay. Like
I love
like
that.
he's just making 4 minutes for God in his little schedule,
Yeah,
and in that moment, I don't even know what happened with the friend.
right.
I'm unaware of that.
Yeah,
So it's not like you're trying to like make up something or
yeah,
manufacture more
yeah.
spirituality. But even if it's just 4 minutes to just go, all right, is there something that I've just been ignoring for a very long time that I need to address? Or I've for me, I've gotten 4 minutes that were just like game changing life decisions. And I've gotten ones that are just like, say no to that opportunity. Or, hey, you need to cancel a meeting today and just go spend some time with your wife.
Right.
Or, like, so it's, again, the practice is just going, Lord, I want to have enough stillness in my life to be able to allow you to speak and give you to. Ideally, it would be great if you gave God more than 4 minutes. But I am amazed by how much my wife and I have heard from God in 4 minute increments. Exactly. We'll do it for our kids. We'll do it for our
Right.
marriage. We'll just say, hey, let's just sit still before God and for 4 minutes. And sometimes we'll just say, hey, I just got one word that entire 4 minutes. One word just kept coming to mind. I think 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, the word that came to mind when we did 4 minutes for our marriage was fun. And we had a season of our marriage that was so busy and so kid centric
Mhm.
that it was like we haven't had just fun. Like we haven't just been able to just like go and just do something for fun. And
Right.
so in 4 minutes, it steered, some of our date nights
Yeah.
and said, oh, we're going to actually plan this and we're going to.
Yeah.
That came from 4 minutes. It didn't come from talking to a friend. It didn't come from
Right.
processing with a counselor. It was like we were just, I say praying, but we weren't actually saying anything out loud.
Yeah, it's like a more meditation, I guess, like,
It's
clearing your
stillness.
yeah, stillness.
Hmm.
I really like the explanation you gave there, and what struck me the most, what you said, is giving God an opportunity to speak,
Hmm.
because I don't give a lot of people opportunity to speak, and I probably don't give God opportunity either.
Sure.
Um, and, I had a situation not that long ago where I was driving and I did it unintentionally, where the stillness where I was like, God, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It was a really literally life and death situation.
Oh my God.
And I heard internally God telling me, it's okay. Let this go. Let them,
Yeah.
and it was so clear. And I showed up to, the emergency and I was able to say, like, okay, I know what we need to do. And yeah, I didn't know, but
Yeah.
in that moment of me just like being like, just tell me, he did.
Yeah.
And it kind of showed me, I was like, maybe I need to do that more often because I
Mhm.
don't.
Yeah.
So I guess these little talks are having an effect on me. The 4 minutes,
Who
the
knows?
stillness.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna challenge you this week, even if it's just one day.
Yeah.
If you can just tomorrow try 4 minutes, just
Yeah.
one, don't commit to it for a lifetime. Have fun with it and
Sure.
see. We would love to see in the comments down below if you try it. And otherwise, we'll see you here next week. And bye.